Hello, and here we have an article review for James called Timesetter. Let's take a look at some of this. Okay, it looks pretty short. Got the acknowledgments, references, contents, okay, codex, attributes, okay, it's a civil job, an extra employment, yes, it's level, changes level, permanent, part-time, various. Okay, and we have pretty standard looking individual here. All right, so let's zoom in a little bit. All right. A time setter is a profession which relates to the clocks in public squares of Burningcaster. Depending on the level of profession, they will have different things to do with the clocks. That seems pretty straightforward. Time setters are found in various zones and segments. Their headquarters can be found in the City Hall. Timekeepers are in charge of building and public square clocks of the zone segment that they reside in, regardless that their headquarters is in 212. Zone 2, segment 12. Good use of a hint there. As an idea, this could, without the tooltip, this could have been mistaken as a typo for time because, like, you just missed the colon between the hours and minutes. It may be an idea for the abbreviation to call it Z2-12. And it's called, and that way it's intentionally different enough that no one would accidentally mistake it for a time typo. If you went like Z2-12, an idea, and it could still be pronounced 212 or Z212. The dash doesn't have to be verbalized, but just an idea to make it so it doesn't look like it's a potential accident. Okay, time setters are residents of their working area as they are more familiar with their local area. Okay, I could change that to simplify it. Time setters are residents of their are residents who are familiar with their local area, local working area. Time setters are residents who are familiar with their local working area. And that way you simplify the grammar, have fewer clauses, and tighten up the meaning of that a little bit. This is seen as a positive over the long commute they may need to make to get to the city hall. Okay. That's cool how you put the watch in there. I don't know how you did that, but that looks pretty cool. Because it doesn't look photoshopped. Or because this guy doesn't have a watch, but this guy does, but it does, so that's why I was wondering how that got there. Or if it's just an inconsistency between the two photos, which is possible as well. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I recognize it as a zoom in of a Hero's Forge. It's just that the clock is on this one. I mean, the watch is on that one, but it's not here. And I'm curious to know why there's the inconsistency. Okay, time setters have an expensive wrist watch, which will enable them to keep time accurately and make sure they change the clocks correctly and honestly, As some analog wristwatches of the old world gave the day of the week and month, knowing the date as well enables them to be able to change the date accurately as well. Them knowing the date as well enables them to be able to change the date as well. Okay, we have a duplicate here. The wristwatch is returned at the end of the day to their department in City Hall. Okay, I thought they don't go to City Hall. They may need to get to. Huh. So I'm a little confused that their location is in the various zones and segments. Their headquarters at City Hall. Um, they work in their local area, and that's positive because then they don't have to make the long commute. But then down here, the wristwatch is returned at the end of the day to their department in City Hall. So this seems to be a little bit inconsistent that why talk about the benefits of not going to City Hall when they still have to go to City Hall in the morning to pick up the watch, do their daily activities, and then come back and put the watch back. It's a wrist ship computer. The icon thing is because I have two, not one, so the main guy doesn't have one, but the screenshot does. Okay, if you are intentionally not including the the wristwatch, that is okay. Okay. Career progression. To progress as a time setter requires experience in the role rather than going through a test to progress. The lower levels that are unavailable due to illness will be able to be covered by those of higher levels. Oh, so if someone needs the day off because they're sick, someone from the higher level. Okay, so it's a Hero Forge thing. Okay. At level a level 1 time setter will change the date on the clocks by unlocking the clear door to the clock and advancing the right numbers to the right day and day of the week. After doing this, they lock the clear door and ensure that all sides of the clock are done before moving on to another clock in a public square. Squares that don't have clocks have buildings that do. These buildings have a clock that have a clock don't show the date, so they are missed out by this level. Okay, maybe they were skipped or not maintained by or something like that. So what I'm understanding here is that every single clock has a date on it, but it's a manual date, and they have to go through and update it. Hmm. See, if someone is smart enough to build a clock that's accurate enough to be in a town square and stuff like that, or large enough, I think they're smart enough to put an automatic date thing in there. I mean, there are mechanical or wind up watches that people have that keep the day and time and many other features internal to it. So I'm not sure um, with the consistency to be consistent with the world. I'm not sure that makes sense. At level 2, they're concerned with the clocks that are either in the public squares or in buildings. At this level, they wind the clocks weekly so the clocks that are mechanical can run. Squares that don't have clocks have buildings that do. Some people find that confusing. Do you? And there's any way I can fix it. Um, hmm. I would, to fix that second paragraph of level 1, you're right, that can be a little confusing. I don't know if I had a problem with it because I could just, oh, there's a clock on the side of the wall of the building. Okay. Um, but you could easily say that uh, most public squares have a clock on top of a pole that serves and provides the detailed the day time to all of the residents going through the park. When such clocks are not available, usually there's a clock on the side of the wall or something like that of a local building. Because if it's in the lobby, that's something different. And why wouldn't a business or a private entity have a day on it, a day of the week on a clock? I mean, is there something stopping them? Because usually privately owned clocks are a lot nicer than the government run ones. So just a thought. At level 3, they adjust the clock for purposes of getting the correct time and for the purposes of daylight savings. Okay. I would hope that if any of us survive the zombie apocalypse or something like that, we just stop it with the daylight savings. It's annoying. Okay. All right. So that's the article. Where is it? Where's the like button? Uh, the clock issue you're mentioning, it's not automatic. Someone has to change the date. Oh, okay, that's fine. Um, it is. I don't know if Deslicat is referring to this, but yeah, I think that is weird. Um, that would be required. Okay, so good article. Don't know where the like button is, but we'll go from there. All right. Oh, yeah, it is weird that there is no like button. Wait, I think I know why. I got logged out. Okay. Well, I'll fix that after I end the